Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
1, 2. Check me out right here, yo.
Thank you for joining me for another edition of the Bob Sullivan Show here on latenightsportsradio.com. I'm joined tonight by the filthy, the Jewish, Rainin Freshly. How you doing tonight, Rainin?
I'm doing great. Fantastic. I'm actually taking a piss as we speak. How are you?
Is it Rainin or is it Ronin? Because I like to say either one.
It's raining, but I like you just met me yesterday. I don't know. How high are you tonight?
I am not high tonight. I'm as straight as an arrow tonight, which is very rare.
As straight as an arrow before it hits its target and starts doing the wiggly thing?
Yeah, before it starts wobbling.
Fair enough.
How much football did you watch tonight, or are you not a football guy?
You know, I figured you'd ask me that, and since I'm not a football guy, I watched about a quarter and a half between both games. But I'm presumably doing much better than Andrew Luck is doing tonight, because it looks like he just had to pass the sticks on Madden or something.
Yeah, it's with Luck tonight. Yeah, he, I don't think he really had a team ready to make a run, a legitimate run. The going up against the Broncos, I mean, he beat them, but Peyton Manning's a coward in the postseason, so what'd you expect?
Yeah. Well, and I think, for the truth of the matter is, the Colts probably got further than most folks would imagine. And there's nothing to be ashamed about. I mean, obviously they got steamrolled here in the AFC Championship game. But, I mean, it's kind of like the process, as they like to say, and the Colts made another step in the right direction. So, if I'm a Colts fan, obviously nobody likes getting embarrassed, presumably in the biggest game you're playing all season. But it's a step in the right direction for them, for sure.
Are you a Tom Brady fan? Yay, nay?
Yeah, I like Tom Brady. I think he's cool. I mean, he wears Uggs and that snow bunny hat, and his wife is overrated, but he seems like a cool guy. I'd jerk him off. Can I say that? Is that on it? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Well, with Giselle, do you think she's a tad overrated?
I do. I don't think she's that pretty. I mean, honestly, I know that's like dumb and being just like a normal regular guy saying a supermodel's not that pretty, but I don't find her that attractive. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, she's fine. She's, I think there was kind of a mutual blow up of the two when they got married, because Brady, I think a lot of chicks thought he was hot, but and probably several.
Did you think he was hot?
I thought he was a decent looking man, but
okay. Would you rather kiss him or Giselle?
I'd rather kiss Giselle, but Giselle does have a couple. She has a couple manly features. I'm not saying that she's mannish, but she has a couple mannish looks to her.
I'm not sold she's a woman necessarily. I'm not sold on that. I just don't think she's very pretty.
The 2 kids does not sell you on that she's a woman.
No, you can adopt. That's not true. I mean, that doesn't tell me anything. She can adopt. Were you there when she spread her legs and popped 2 kids up?
No, I was not. Which brings me
were there any pictures?
I did not. Okay, let's get off the topic of Giselle spreading her legs and having a child, but let's stay on the topic of childbirth, because you know how everybody does these My Stories now on Snapchat. Do you think that anybody has ever My Storied childbirth?
I don't think it's happened. I wouldn't be shocked if it has, though, because people do the dumbest things and want to do things for attention so bad. So I wouldn't be surprised. As a matter of fact, if I was a female, somebody like me, I would probably do it. Not necessarily because I want attention, but because it's hilarious and would gross you out. You've read our text messages, right?
Yes, I have read our text messages. some of the most.
So in our conversation of me, yeah, go ahead.
Well, if I became a celebrity or something, I wouldn't be concerned about any of the pictures getting put out. If somebody hacked my phone, I would be more concerned about the text messages between me and you, and probably Shep, that would just ruin us for our lives.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would be more so expected out of me, but once they saw all those pictures of you exposing your nipple, I'm not sure what would happen to your career after that.
I have not done
your Playboy spread would surely be out, that's for sure.
What would be the price tag for you to pose for Playgirl?
Oh, a free dinner at Sizzler. I'm down, like, right now. Like, if you could put a camera in my house, I'm basically posing for Playgirl right now. I'm basically down to nothing, laying on my couch talking to you. So you can have that visual, and your producer can have it too.
As far as you're currently engaged. How did that come about?
Well, I mean, you kind of put duct tape over their face, and you don't let them move, and after a while, they just agree to marry you. You know, I'm Jewish, man. My wallet's big. What do you want from me? I don't know.
Yeah, how many times do you have to ask before she said yes?
How many times did I have to ask before she said yes?
Yeah.
Well, I basically threatened her family. In all honesty, no, I didn't threaten her family. She's a lovely young lady, and I'm a good-looking guy. And why would you say no to me? That, like, honestly, like, just listen to my interviews with you. Wouldn't you be proud of me too?
I am very proud of you. You've become a different man since you've become engaged.
Am I really?
No, you actually. I think you've gotten worse. But
probably.
What's the one thing that you're worried about having to give up once you do get married?
Sex with other women. I mean, isn't that kind of everything that we despise when we get engaged or get married?
Well, do you have to give that up?
Not really, I suppose. But when it's of a woman of a specific minority, they'll kill you in your sleep. I'm sure you can figure out what type of girl that is.
All right, let's get back to football here.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so
thanks for killing my entire freshly gimmick in that little segment there, Bob. Appreciate that.
No problem. As far as the Seahawks Patriots go, we got one side of the country versus the other, East versus West. Not quite the Civil War, but what is the best part of the Patriots versus the Seahawks in the Super Bowl? Is there a best part, or is it boring?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of Trojans in it, and so once again it just shows USC's dominance and that we're smarter and better than everybody. And, the Seahawks will win the Super Bowl just based on they have more Trojans on their team.
Why isn't Matt Leinart the quarterback in the NFL right now?
Because he's terrible. Because he's better than who?
Was he smarter and better than everybody?
Yeah, he was. He made his money and then he left the NFL. Isn't that pretty smart? So he's not going to have any concussion, any sort of mental illness. His body won't break down when he's 35, and he still probably made $30 million. I call that pretty smart. What about you?
Yeah,
you didn't think I'd fire back with an answer like that, did you?
You found a silver lining in that one.
Yeah. You just think because you beat me in trivia crack, I don't know anything?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Yeah, I dominated you in trivia crack.
I wouldn't say you dominated me. I personally think you cheated, but that's okay.
How did I cheat?
You had a Jew in the room with you. Jews obviously know all the answers to everything.
With trivia crack, I've been accused of cheating by you and by Reed.
No, I'll openly say you whooped my ass. I admit it.
I don't have to really say that I cheated because I didn't. I just say that you guys have less of an advantage because you're dumber than me.
Well, that could be true. Also, because you only have 30 seconds, so how the hell could you Google anything when you have 30 seconds?
I don't, especially on your phone. Yeah, I don't.
Right.
Computers, Andy.
Besides, you've got all sorts of viruses because of all the porn you download, so your phone must be slow as hell.
Yeah, it's getting slower by the day. What's the best app you've downloaded on your phone in recent weeks?
Outside of Trivia Crack, because that app is really incredible. I would say, well, I did fantasy football. So the ESPN fantasy football app was pretty legit. Besides that, I don't know. I don't really do a whole lot of apps, to be honest. I'm not that tech savvy.
Yeah, I've gotten out of the app game. Trivia Crack from time to time. I found this game called Hard Time. It's about being in prison. It's like The Sims in prison.
What the hell?
Yeah, I played that for a little bit, but it just wasn't that exciting. There was not as it wasn't as exciting as Andy Dufresne's time in the federal penitentiary.
Because when I think Hard Time, I think if you take a Viagra and you try to jerk off. You know what I'm saying? That's hilarious. That's hilarious to me. I couldn't even finish the joke. That's absolutely hilarious to me. I'm having the giggle fit like Anderson Cooper.
I guess if we're going to talk about baseball, we could talk more about Viagra because that's every third commercial in a baseball game.
Is it because only like a portion of young people enjoy baseball, like us, and then most other baseball watchers are at least 60 and above?
Yeah, I'd say, what would you say, 90 to 95% are over 60?
It would have to be, because most people my age, our age, they don't enjoy baseball. At least the most people I know. I do, but
what do you think? What do you think it is? What do you think the most boring part of baseball is?
I think personally, it's like when they pull a pitcher. It takes an hour just to start the game back up again. Now, I don't really think there's anything you can do to change that, because obviously you got to let a guy get loose. But I feel like, hasn't the dude been getting loose for at least an inning and a half in the bullpen? How much more loose do you need to be?
Yeah. What's an extra 8 pitches out there on the mound?
Right.
For you.
Yeah, I can understand if you're just pulling the guy in. You know, like when there's an injury to a pitcher and the guy hasn't gotten loose yet. That I totally get. But I feel like if the dude's been warming up since the 5th inning and it's now the 7th, can't we just move this game along? But personally, I don't necessarily mind it because I'm paying to sit in a ballpark, so I'm trying to get my money's value anyway. So I don't really care. I just think that particular thing hurts the game a little bit, hurts viewership at least.
Well, what's the when you go to an Angels game, what's the best food at the Angels Stadium?
Oh, helmet nachos, without a doubt. They have these nachos that come in this big old Angels helmet, and they pile everything on it. You'll be in the bathroom. If you order them in the first inning, you'll be in the bathroom by the bottom of the first. They're totally worth it. Plus, you get to hear all sorts of men grunting.
That's pretty generic, though. That's every ballpark has helmet nachos.
Yeah, that's the best part. The ballpark hasn't got that great of food. I mean, because they used to have Hebrew National hot dogs, but now they do just the Farmer John BS. Nobody wants that nonsense. If there's 2 things Jews are great at, it's money and hot dogs. Why are you pulling the hot dogs from the stadium? I have no idea. And who is Farmer John anyways? Have you met him?
I've heard a lot about Farmer John. I've heard more about Farmer John and seen less of him than maybe anybody. Number 2 might be Andy Warhol.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Andy Warhol. I if you showed me a picture of him, I'd be like, oh, that's interesting. You know, I've never seen a picture of him, and the same thing goes for Jim Buss. Those are 2 people that I've heard more about and seen less of in my entire life.
You've never seen Jim Buss?
No, I've never seen a pic. Well, I've seen one picture of him, and that's it.
Yeah, you definitely